Happy Camper Radio starts in 3, 2, 1. I am so happy to be back with you. Hello, everybody. This is the Happy Camper Radio Show with Skip, the Happy Camper. And I, my friends, am going to do my best to make a happy camper out of you. Wow, did we eat like horses yesterday. No, unfortunately, I was not camping. I so much wish that I were. But the weather has been so ugly here lately. I don't know what the deal is, but I want it to get out of our system. I want it to move on to other places, preferably out in the ocean somewhere, where everybody can enjoy the sunshine and enjoy some great weather to go camping. But anyway, last week we had nothing but showers. The day cleared up just enough yesterday for us to have a monstrous cookout on the back patio. And I broke out my large canopy. I broke out the tiki torches. I had plenty of time in the morning to mow the lawn because it dried up just enough for me to do that. And last night, we just had a great time. Ate steaks, baked potatoes, corn on the cob, plenty of treats. I posted pictures on our Facebook page if you want to take some time to take a look at them. Feel free to go ahead and do that. But so far, what I understand, the rain showers are getting ready to move back in later this afternoon, and it's going to be ugly all week again. So, if you're not camping and you can squeeze in a cookout on your back patio, folks, that's just about the next best thing you can do. And speaking of food, bring your appetite. Folks, we are going to be talking about some great camping favorites, and we'll be talking about that all on the show today. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, a lot of those great treats, some snacks, things that you can enjoy while you are camping, and things to consider for the campground menu if you are the person who does that type of planning. Listen in. It's going to be a great show today. You can reach us here at the Happy Camper Radio Show by calling 404-537-CAMP. That's 404-537-2267. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, add us to Circles on Google+, and now subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel. And you can find any one of our social media icons very simply by going to our website, which is www.happycamperradio.com. Take some time to browse the website, see what we have to offer there, the photographs, a lot of good, useful information. It's all available to you at www.happycamperradio.com. It's time now to walk on over here to the shout-out window. This is always my favorite part of the show, folks, because it is a time where we get to welcome anybody who signs up on social media and becomes a part of our great Happy Camper Radio family. Let's start today by saying hello to Brian V. DeLong of Lansing, Kansas. He's also in the Army. Brian, thank you so much for your service to our country. Thomas Buck Ballard of Rice Lake, Wisconsin. Travels with Birdie. Here's now a family who enjoys camping. Thank you so much for joining us. Donna Siafi of Elkasion, California. Diane Worrell Kachuk of Carlsbad, California. They all like us on Facebook. Dole's Farm Campground of Derbyshire, UK. Janet Green. Rocky Boots of Broomfield, Colorado. And finally, to Shane Steiner. They are following us on Twitter. Thank you all so very much, each and every one of you. Glad to have you on board. Hey, folks, it's that time of year again. The Great American Campout 2015 is just about to get underway. And I'm going to have some information posted on social media as well as our website sometime this week. This is going to be a great year to go camping. And let me tell you what they're doing different this year, folks. Do you remember in years past, they would designate one day where you could take your family, friends, and do some backyard camping? Well, this year, they're planning the Great American Campout to run from June 27th, 2015, all the way through September 7th. So anytime in that time frame, all you've got to do is make a commitment to camp. And the neat thing this year, and I know you know this guy, celebrity spokesperson Nick Offerman, better known as Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation. Some people have accused me of having a slight resemblance to him. Anyway, he's going to be the national celebrity spokesperson for the Great American Campout this year. And all the information is going to be available on their website, and you can find a link to it by going to happycamperradio.com, as well as Facebook. We'll be posting some information there. Hey, speaking of camping, I'm going to target a date right in the middle of all of this for our Great American Campout. And as I have mentioned a couple episodes ago, I am planning a weekend getaway at Georgia's Stone Mountain Park. And tentatively now, folks, write this down on your calendar. I will make it official next week. It's going to be the first weekend in August, and I will be camping out at Stone Mountain Park. And if you happen to be passing through the area, or if you're looking for a place to go camping that weekend, and you live here in the metro Atlanta area or Georgia or maybe some of the surrounding states, and you want to make Georgia's Stone Mountain Park your camping destination that weekend, come on down. I would love to have you. I'd love to meet you. I'm going to be doing my show that Saturday night right there at the campsite. And I would love to have you as a guest on the program. So if you happen to be looking for some camping plans, if you're looking for a great camping destination, it's going to be Georgia's Stone Mountain Park. I am planning the first weekend in August, and you're welcome to come join me there at the park. The rates are very reasonable, and you can check it out on their website. I will have a link to it also on happycamperradio.com. All right, folks, it's mealtime. Some of those awesome campground favorites, that's what we're going to talk about on the show today. Like I said, yesterday it was a great day. I was not manning the grill. I ended up being the one having to buy the food. It usually works out like that. But I went along Friday afternoon for the trip to the grocery store where we bought all the goodies and what have you. And it's something we all have to do anyway when we're planning a camping trip. One of the things about going camping, folks, and having a great meal at the campsite, nobody has ever been known to leave camp hungry. I don't care what day of the week it is you're camping. When you're eating and when you're enjoying a camping environment, those two go hand in hand. And the menu may consist of whatever your heart desires. Now, folks, keep in mind, this is not Leave It to Beaver. It's not the Andy Griffith Show, and it's not about traditional meals at designated times of the day. Remember, we are camping. So it's not unusual, at least not for me, for breakfast to consist of maybe eggs, hash browns, along with some baked beans and hot dogs. You can do whatever you want. You can cook up whatever you want. But if you have a large family with you and everybody has a desire to have breakfast consisting of maybe eggs, bacon, hash browns, pancakes, those are always a good favorite. You know, you all decide as a family what you want to have to eat. And generally, there is going to be a designated camp chef. It may be mom, it may be dad, it may be a friend of yours that may be joining the camping party who loves to take on that responsibility. Now let's talk about some of those favorite breakfast time treats. Pancakes I just mentioned. Wow, break out the large skillet or pancake grill. Who does not carry a pancake grill with them when they are camping? I'm sure there are a few, but the large skillet will do in any event. Now, some creating chefs will make their pancake mix from scratch. I much prefer bringing a box of pancake mix with me. I'm not crazy about the instant stuff, the stuff where you just add water and there you go. I bring along the eggs, the milk, and the cooking oil, and I prefer cooking on the camp stove. Some people will cook over an open flame. Some will use the barbecue grill that is furnished there at the campsite. However you choose to do it, as long as those pancakes are delicious, as long as they are fluffy, you're going to have people coming back for more and more each and every time. You just want to make sure that you bring enough pancake mix with you and enough eggs, milk, and cooking oil, whatever, however you decide you're going to cook them up. Because trust me, it is a breakfast time treat. It is a campsite favorite, and everybody loves to have pancakes. Make sure you've got plenty of syrup. Make sure you've got butter, everything else you need. And here's another thing, too. If you are the camp chef, and I really shouldn't have to say this because I'm not telling anybody how to cook and prepare their food in the kitchen. I'm the last one to do that. All right. But you know, and I know that you're going to want to keep your skillet and your griddle very well oiled. Adding to a breakfast treat like pancakes, you may want to bring sausage along. Now, I prefer mine hot and spicy. Not everybody is like me. You can either prepare the patties, or maybe you'll have link sausage. It tastes great as any side with pancakes. I prefer eating my sausages with croissants. Just warm up them croissants right there at mealtime. Add a thin layer of mayonnaise, preferably for me anyway. They are just fantastic. But remember, sausage is a pork product, so you're going to want to cook it thoroughly. Nobody needs to be coming down sick. Now, here's another thing you might want to add at breakfast time. It's entirely up to you. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm going to talk about grits. Grits is a very popular breakfast treat here in the South. Not everybody appreciates the smell and the taste of grits. I can remember camping with some family members here maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe even longer than that. But when the nieces and nephews came down from the north and they were visiting their uncle here for the weekend, we were camping in North Georgia, not at our normal camping site, but we had another one way off in the distance. I think it was over near Clayton somewhere. But everybody got up in the morning, and they were wiping the sleep from their eyes, and my brother says, "Hey, Uncle Skip has breakfast ready." And my one niece, she says, "It better not be grits," and I'm serious, too. Not everybody is going to appreciate the taste and the smell of grits. But hey, it's a great breakfast time treat here in the South. I prefer cheese grits, and I'm not talking with the type of grits, the cheese that's already added to the mix. I like shredded cheese added to my grits and mixed in there. It tastes really great, and it also goes along with the pancakes and the sausages as well. You might want to throw in some eggs. Some people prefer theirs scrambled. I like mine over easy. You might want to stack them on top of the pancakes. Now, some of them are great to go along with the breakfast. Some people just prefer mixing in with the scrambled eggs, some cheese, some onions, some olives, some other toppings. Don't forget the salt, pepper, and some hot sauce, because those are great sides to have on the table, too. Do you like hash browns? I do. I love them. I don't like them cooked crispy. But you can throw in some hash browns in there with your breakfast, and you want to find out from every camper just how they like them cooked. Some like them cooked lightly, some like them crispy, and toppings can also be added to the hash browns, too. I like a layer of cheese added on top of my hash browns. Some people also prefer a light breakfast. Now, if you like going out big, some people prefer camping like on a Saturday morning as their big breakfast menu. Some people like just a light breakfast. So there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe a bowl of cereal. Some people will settle for hot coffee and an English muffin, or just maybe even something to munch on. Some people don't eat a big breakfast. Now, a large breakfast in camp can last an entire day, believe it or not. If you eat a big breakfast, you serve a big breakfast. Sometimes no one is going to have room for lunch. And the only thing you're going to have to worry about is what do everybody want for dinner. That's why it's always good to keep a few munchies in between. So if anybody at camp is just looking for something to munch on, you can have it right there in the camp kitchen. Okay? Always, like I say, make sure you bring plenty of the trimmings to go with you, regardless of what meal you are preparing. Let's take a look at some lunchtime specialties. Are you getting hungry yet? I am. And I had a big dinner last night. All right, oftentimes, people eat their lunch on the go. You'll be surprised that not everybody is going to be hanging around the campsite all day long. Like me. I just prefer to hang out. I love just hanging by that fire. You already know that. But some people do like to browse around, take in the sights, maybe take a tour of a museum or something, wherever they may be. So not everybody is going to be at camp right around lunchtime. So here's another thing you might want to consider. Some brown bag lunches. They're going to save money. If you're going to eat out, be prepared to spend wherever you go. But cold cuts are always a favorite. They're easy to make. It's food that you can have on the go. Even kids love to make and create their own sandwiches. There's less cleanup involved. You can pack along a variety of meats, cheeses, just decide what everybody wants. And, buy a little bit of everything. Purchase their condiments in the bottle size or maybe even the packets because, you don't want the food to go bad. Always bring along a small cooler packed with ice, especially if you're dealing with perishables. If you know you're going to be keeping your food in a hot car while you are out sightseeing or visiting these museums or zoos or wherever you may be, you don't want that food to go bad. So make sure you have a small cooler with some ice on the inside of it there, and you always want to make sure that you keep your perishables out of the hot sun. Here's another lunchtime treat, folks, mac and cheese. What kid doesn't love mac and cheese? You don't have to get fancy. You can buy the Kraft brand mac and cheese, and that will do. Maybe even the store brand if you want to save some money. They taste just as good. At least I think so. And make sure you bring enough of them, okay? And you can often find them on sale, too. The Kraft mac and cheese brand is a great treat. It's a great lunchtime treat. The kids love it. And if you're not into the mac and cheese, how about the ramen noodles? These are really inexpensive and oh so sweet and simple to make. You can generally buy a case of 12 packages for under $2. Kids love to have them at breakfast, lunch, and dinner just about any time. They make a great in-between snack, too. Just make sure that you bring plenty of fruits and vegetables to mix in with any meal. Both good and healthy. They'll help balance the diet out. And it's, like I say, it's a good in-between snack. Those small containers of Jell-Os and puddings, they come in many different flavors. Make sure you grab a handful of those when you're doing your grocery shopping and planning for your camping trip. So there's a couple breakfast and lunch suggestions. Let's talk about dinner. It's supper time. This is when the day winds down. This is when everybody is back at camp. You're relaxing. You're just throwing some wood on the fire. You're getting prepared to wind the day down. So your camp chef goes into the kitchen, and you already know what's on the menu. And you just cannot wait for the aroma of food to start floating through your campground, through your campsite. And you know, in just a short period of time, dinner will be served. Now, they can be as fancy and elaborate as you want to make them. Here's an all-time favorite of mine, and I'm sure yours too. Spaghetti. If you're going to make spaghetti at camp, make sure you make a big pot of it. Because just like your breakfast treats, just like pancakes for breakfast in the morning, people will come back for more and more of spaghetti. You can bring along your favorite recipe if you like. You can make it from scratch right there at camp, or you may even want to prepare your sauce at home and freeze it, put it on ice, and have it ready to serve when you come to camp. It's entirely your call. It's entirely up to you. Some people will bring the whole shooting match to the campsite, depending upon how crazy and how elaborate you want to get when you're cooking. And I know I have seen a lot of folks who really take in food preparation at the campsite very, very seriously. So some people will make their food from scratch, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. All right? And spaghetti, like I say, will keep campers coming back for seconds, time and time again. Make sure if you're going to cook spaghetti, do it upright. Bring a tossed salad. Corn on the cob also goes good with that, as well as garlic bread. Wow. Remember the toppings, too, like grated cheese and peppers and just about anything that anybody wants to toss on their spaghetti. Nobody will go away hungry. And once the spaghetti settles in and everybody is full, it's time to relax around the fire until it's time to go to bed. I know I have sat around the fire totally stuffed, just like yesterday. Of course, there was no fire. We had the tiki torches going. But it's a great feeling, isn't it? When you wind down the day and you know, hey, it's been a good one. We ate good. We had a lot of fun today. And when it's time to climb in that sleeping bag, you're going to sleep like a bear. All right, let's talk about some other dinner treats. How about stuffed baked potatoes? They're very inexpensive to buy. Usually when I go shopping for baked potatoes, I try to find the biggest, fattest baked potatoes I can possibly buy. Because I know I will enjoy it. I know the people that I'm cooking for will enjoy it. I try to cook it very thoroughly, and cooking baked potatoes at a campground can be a little challenging. Now, they do make these camp ovens, and it's going to take some time for you to have those in the oven to prepare, and you want to make sure that they are washed very thoroughly. I usually take a fork and poke it about 10 or 15 times and then wrap it up in aluminum foil before I go ahead and stick it in the oven. And if you're going to cook baked potatoes, again, make sure they're cooked thoroughly and bring along a lot of toppings like shredded cheese, bacon bits, chives, sour cream, and just about anything else that people may want to use as toppings on their baked potatoes. They're very wholesome, and, you know, folks will just go away stuffed as could be. You know, do you want to allow the campers to build their own masterpiece? And doing that with stuffed baked potatoes, wow, it is great. If it is your last night at camp, say you've been camping maybe for 3 or 4 days, you know it's always good for dinner time on the last day, steak and ribs. Why not? Designate a steak night when you plan a camping trip. This is going to be the final hurrah. This is going to be the night everybody is really going to enjoy dinner and talk about it on the way home. Break out the charcoal, break out the lighter fluid, and again, wherever you plan on cooking your steak, whether it's going to be on the camp grill, the one that you bring to camp, or it's going to be at the grill that is permanently attached to your campsite, you want to make sure that you take a wire brush and clean that grill very, very thoroughly. I like to bring along a jar of bacon grease and coat the grill anytime I am preparing food. Just before those coals are started, I go ahead and I put a layer of bacon grease on top of the grate because that bacon flavor cooks into the food. Now, that's just me. You may do something different, but you definitely want to make sure that that grate is cleaned very thoroughly before you put food on top of it. All right, and this is a time where you're going to allow the camp chef, whoever he or she may be, to master their profession. Let me give you some tips along the way here, okay, to help you out. Always plan ahead. I know this can be difficult. For me, I am really not a good planner, and I'll tell you why. It's not that I don't have a plan, but anytime I go camping, even if I am the only person camping, I always have a tendency to buy too much, and that's okay. I prefer bringing food home to put in the refrigerator to eat later than having to go to camp where I've got not enough and having to go out and buy it while I'm out on the road. I don't like doing that. I'm sure you don't either. All right? Never be afraid to bring too much. Have plenty of leftovers to take home. Folks, watch your diet. I should have mentioned this right from the very beginning, but if you are on a strict diet, you want to follow doctor's orders. Remember, cook red meats very thoroughly, and again, keep your perishable foods out of the hot sun. There are plenty of great camping recipes that you can find online. Just go to your Google search engine and put in campground recipes, and you will find a ton, believe me, a ton of great recipes for you to choose from. It's time now for our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. This week, I'm going to take you out west. I found a wonderful campground, and if I ever get out to the state of Oregon, I am definitely going to make sure Doe Point Campground is on my horizon. This is a great remote and picturesque campground. The Doe Point Campground offers outstanding access to fishing, swimming, hiking, kayaking, canoeing, paddle boating, and remote boat access. Folks, look at the website here. Go to it right now, and you'll find a link on our homepage at happycamperradio.com. It's over on the right-hand side of the page. It will be there all week long. Take a look and see what they have to offer. If you like shade, if you like just the beauty of nature, you'll find it here at Doe Point Campground. Now, the large campground itself contains campsites to accommodate groups, families, and individuals. Many sites are large enough to accommodate RVs and trailers, but they cannot accommodate RV hookups at this time. They have drinking water and flush toilets. Water basins are provided, as well as a fish cleaning station, picnic tables, and grills. You can purchase your firewood locally. Your campground host can help you out with that. There are many activities and amenities available: an amphitheater, a day-use area, first aid kit, parking area, paved parking spurs, pets are allowed, river access, tent sites, vault toilets, waterfront sites, you name it. A lot of great things to do and see when you visit Doe Point Campground. Hey, some of the things to know before you go, they added this caution here. Bears do frequent the area, so be aware of that and keep your camp clean at all times and store your food in appropriate bear-proof containers. A per-day, per-vehicle fee will be added and collected on-site for extra vehicles that may be coming into the campground. Off-road vehicles are not permitted, and they do have a phone number available there if you need to contact the ranger station. It's right there on their website, and it's a great place for you to consider if you plan on camping anytime out west, and make your reservations online. If you haven't already created an account with recreation.gov, you can do so when you visit the Doe Point Campground website. It's over in the upper right-hand corner. It's in a little gray box that says sign in or sign up. Just click on that. It asks you some basic information. I have an account. It's very secure, and it really helps anytime that you make a future reservation at any recreation.gov campground. So consider that when you're browsing through any of the recreation.gov sites. This week, it's the Doe Point Campground, and it is our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. And as always, if you have a campground that you would like for us to feature on the program, by all means, get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, and make sure you include a link to the campground website. Well, folks, are you hungry? You getting ready to head down to the kitchen? You getting ready to head to the camp kitchen? Wherever it may be, whatever you choose to eat, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it is wholesome. Nothing wrong with that at all. Hey, don't forget, you can catch us online anytime at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, add us to Circles on Google+, and now subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper, and no question about it, my friends, we are going to make a happy camper out of you. Catch you next week. This is Happy Camper Radio.